Nearly 60 years, Arts United has worked to bring the rich, diverse talents of our region together through support of the arts, socially, culturally, and economically. Arts United, providing a home for the arts in Northeast Indiana.
Excellence lives here in Northeastern Indiana. It's reflected in more than 200 nationally recognized degrees. It drives our Division I sports. It's alive in our campus life. Excellence has a name, IPFW. Around our campus, around the country, around the world. Excellence lives here. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
This is Arts Weekly. Arts Weekly is produced in cooperation with the College of Visual and Performing Arts at IPFW, offering degrees in fine arts, music, theater, and visual communication and design.
Welcome to Arts Weekly. I'm John O'Connell, Dean of the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. On today's show, we will meet representatives from 3 regional art galleries. In the second half of the show, I will be joined by Santa Brink from Artworks, the Galleria of Fine Art, and Andrea Zwiebel, manager of the Clark Gallery at the Honeywell Center. But joining me first is Ann Shive of Crestwoods Frame Shop and Gallery in Roanoke. Welcome to Arts Weekly, Ann. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I consider you an old pro on this show, Ann. You've been on 2 or 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? A real voice for Roanoke.
Oh, right, exactly.
The last time you were on, you were talking about the festival?
Right, the Renaissance
Festival?
and Roanoke Festival.
Right, and today we're going to talk about Crestwoods Frame Shop and Art Gallery.
Yes, thank you.
And before that, I'd like to know a little bit about your background as an artist and what interests you have in the arts.
I was a fine arts major at IU Bloomington, and I've been on the Fort Wayne Museum of Art board twice. I have been a volunteer down there for years. We also owned an art gallery in Vail, Colorado for 5 years, the Leaping Otis Fine Art Gallery.
I'm a little jealous about that.
Yeah.
Vail, Colorado, 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, I lived in Boulder for 2 years.
Yeah.
In the 70s when Boulder was still Boulder, no longer just attached to Denver. What kind of art did you do as a fine artist at IU?
I was mainly ceramics.
Oh, great. We have a big ceramics program at IPFW.
Right.
Yeah, terrific. Yeah. So you've been with Crestwoods, how long have you been at Crestwoods?
We've owned it for 2 years. And Crestwoods has been in existence for 50. This is its 50th anniversary this year.
Oh, you're taking it over then from a long line of people who've kept it going. And it's always been in Roanoke?
Yes.
I see. And what interested you in moving on to Roanoke? Were you in Roanoke at the time, or did you come from Fort Wayne?
Well, I live in Fort Wayne, but I always did my framing with Crestwoods for more than 20 years. And the opportunity just presented itself.
You know, framing is an art, is really an art in its own right.
It is.
When I was in college in Minnesota, I worked for 1.5 years in a frame shop. And, you know, it took me 3 months to learn the craft of doing a good frame.
It's a lot of hard work.
A lot of hard work. And sometimes the owner would say to me, that piece isn't for you. This piece is for me because it takes a lot of matting or double matting or that sort of thing. So do you have some talented craftsmen working?
We do. They were really well trained by Wally Orr, the previous owner who had owned it for 23 years. And both of my employees have an art background too, mainly graphic arts, but they were really well trained, and everything's archival and conservation.
It's a full-time frame shop.
It's a full-time frame shop, and now a full-time art gallery also.
And has that always been an art gallery, or is that new?
Wally always had some art, but he had a much smaller space, so we moved the gallery and the frame shop 2 blocks to a much larger space.
Well, let's talk about that space. Where are you now, and how did you come about moving into that space?
We are in what is known in Roanoke as the Coil Factory Building. It's a 100-year-old factory building that has been repurposed, and now I believe there are 6 or 8 businesses in it. and we could do whatever we wanted with our space. So it was really a wonderful chance to start from the beginning.
So is it a private enterprise that restructured the building or renovated the building, or is
Right,
it a,
right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
So
then
we
they
lease our
out, you
space.
lease out.
Mhm.
And how large is your space?
We have 3,000 square feet.
Wow, that's terrific. That's a
Yeah.
lot of space.
Yeah.
And so you really have committed to the idea that it's an art gallery and a frame shop as two separate entities.
Yes.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
What do you specialize in?
Um,
What's sort of the mission, if you will, then, of Crestwoods as an art gallery?
We are mainly focused on local and regional artists. So in the 2 years, we've shown over 40 different artists, and we've had all sorts of combinations of styles and
Kinds of work,
right.
Fine art, ceramics,
Right.
sculpture. There's room for sculpture then
Right.
if you have that much square footage,
Right.
Because that can be a challenge.
Sculpture is our biggest challenge.
It is a big challenge.
Yes.
Because what they send you as an image, isn't always what you get delivered
Right.
on the day of art delivery day.
Well, some of the other things aren't always the way they seem also.
So then, do you try to highlight local artists? Is that sort of
I do.
one of the goals?
I
Yeah.
do. I'm from Fort Wayne, grew up here, never thought I'd come back, but I did, and there's so much local talent that I haven't really had to reach that far to find people of all ages, and
Well, Roanoke's kind of a, I don't know, when I've been to Roanoke on the few times that I've been there, it's a really sweet, it has a sense of old town feel to it.
Yeah.
And, it seems like the people of Roanoke really take pride in their city. I mean, you've got a couple festivals there.
Right.
You've got a couple of just world-class restaurants
Right.
that people will go to
Right.
from Fort Wayne.
Yep.
So it seems like it's a good place for an art gallery to be located right now.
yeah, so far so good. We've really been pleased. We really enjoy the town and all the merchants. We have regular meetings, and we've gotten to know almost everybody that has a shop.
Well, is the shop then it's, location, location, location. Is it in a spot that is fairly frequented by traffic?
Right. And we have a great off-street parking because it was a factory, there's parking, which is sort of an issue in Roanoke.
Right.
So we have great off-street parking, and we have access to a little kitchen upstairs if we need it. And
Well, who's currently in your show? Who's currently in your gallery?
right now we're calling it a collector's show. So it's work that either Crestwoods owns or friends own, and they just want to change. One that a lot of people know is Larry Anspaugh, who was a local photographer from Decatur, and his two children took what they wanted, and now I have a chance to sell his beautiful art photographs. So we've got that's one of the ones we have right now. And coming up in February, we're having 12 artists, and we're calling the show Art You Can Use. So we have leather, fiber, metal, we have furniture, we have ceramics, we have...
That's
so
kind of an interesting concept. I
Yeah.
like that idea.
Yeah, so-
Instead of it being so precious,
Right.
we can't touch it, we can't
Right.
do anything with
Right.
it. This is stuff we want you to feel, use,
Yep.
make a part of your life. Oh, well, that's a terrific idea.
Right. So, and it's kind of, and we do try and have all price points also because
Absolutely.
I think it's important.
Listen, I think that my partner had a gallery in town, 1832 Calhoun Street, for 4 years. And we couldn't make a go of it. Mainly, I think it was location. Calhoun wasn't hopping like it was now. But it's hard to sell high-end art in Fort Wayne. You have to have a concerted effort. And with full-time jobs and other interests, we didn't make a go of it. But it takes an energy, it takes a drive of understanding who your artists are and who might be interested in making that purchase. You have to have that personal contact.
Right. It's always a work in progress. And I think we just, even in the 2 years, we've realized, we have to change. We have to try new things. We have to, I think that's what art is about anyway. But we sort of had one vision in the beginning, and we're feeling that that's been good, but this mixing it up a little bit more has, we seem to be getting more energy, and I think we've been working with the artists on helping them also bring their energy to the whole process.
Right. Right. I think the idea of multiple price points is really a wonderful marketing idea for you. I mean, just a concept that, you know, not everybody can afford the high-end piece that's in your front window, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't come in and visit Crestwoods.
Right.
Absolutely. Right. Anything else you want to tell us that's coming up in the spring before we get the contact information?
We have, we're going to have Stephen Perfect and Dick Lehman in May. In March, we'll have Norm Bradley and Dixie. And let me see.
Do you change out every month?
Yeah, we're having 12 shows this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that is an undertaking.
It is.
That's an undertaking.
It is, and there's only 4 of us.
Yeah, that is quite, for that kind of space. And not just...
And we're doing the framing at the same time.
Right, but not just the changing out, the planning ahead.
Right.
To get 12 months ahead, you usually have those contracts signed 6 to 7 months in advance, so that's quite an undertaking.
Yeah, it's been quite... yeah, I'm not sure if I bit off more than I can chew, but...
Well, I'm sure Roanoke is really pleased to have you.
Yeah.
Now, what is the contact information? How can people get a hold of information about Crestwoods Frame Shop and Gallery?
They can call us at 260-672-2080. They can go to our website, www.crestwoodsgallery.com, and we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Oh, Lord, there's Instagram. Look
It's
out.
fun.
I hear that it's fun.
It's
I'm not
very
on Instagram.
fun.
I hear it's all, you know, the 14-year-olds are all on Instagram, so
Listen,
I'm not on Instagram.
people are on it, and they look, and
They do.
They really do
really
look.
do, yeah.
It's been fun.
Yeah, the young crowd is really into Instagram and Twitter. So, well, thank you for joining me, and
Thank
good
you
luck
so
with
much for
Crestwoods.
having me.
I look forward to coming down to Roanoke and visiting with you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on to Arts Weekly. After this short break, we will meet representatives from 2 more art galleries. So please take this minute to view our performance calendar of what's coming up in our area. We'll be right back with Sanda Brink and Andrea Zwiebel.